Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Eitaya, and I'm excited to be here and live with you today. We're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa and to the entire world. And please, it's always a delight to know those who are streaming with us, connecting with us by you just telling us where you're streaming from. Tell us your name, tell us your location. Ask questions as we go along the conversation today, and please do not hesitate to also contribute. You know what happens in on this show, we learn together, we share together, we also plan to grow together. And therefore, please do not keep quiet. Your comments actually means a lot to us. We value contributions from everyone and anyone. And I believe that before the end of the show, we'll be able to make remarkable impact on ourselves and, of course, in the sector called education. And without wasting much time, as usual, we welcome guests to the show. We have super analyst experts who will share their views, who will share their thoughts, who will share their expertise with us on the conversation that we have. We've started a series this week, and our goal is to actually champion conversations about resumption and ahead of school reopening in Africa, especially in Nigeria. And one of the things we decided to do was to break the conversation and the road towards resumption into bits. And so we decided to talk about fit for resumption, how fit our schools and educators for resumption. We went further to take it a step further beyond just fit for resumption to talk about fit for service, zoning in to the service delivery of schools and what are the requirements, what are the prerequisites to have that done. And then we took a step further to talk about, which was yesterday, fit for learning. Learning is very important beyond the theatrics and the ambience and the aesthetics and the necessary facility that we need to get up in readiness for resumption. Are we fit for learning? And today is Thursday, and we are going straight to fit for support. An interesting thing about the conversation today is we're going to be taking it from two angles. Number one, fit for support is talking about those who render some level of enabling and amplifying support to the school space. We're talking about consultants, we're talking about vendors, we're talking about people who totally provide service that support the overall operations of schools. And then also talking to schools where they have allied and auxiliary support services that they also give. Are we fit for support? Supporting the children, supporting the teachers, supporting the sector. What are the demands of support in today's world? These and many more are the things we're going to be talking about today. And without wasting much time, I'm going to invite the only prophet on the show. And he is no other person than Mr. Jude Ashedu. Good morning, Jude. How are you today?
Morning, Mr. Roti. Morning, Internet. Morning, our colleagues around.
Jude, your volume seems to be low.
Really?
Yes, seems like you're whispering on a romantic dinner.
Let me check that out.
I think what you need is someone to pump your energy level up. I'm going to bring the one and only, with the signature of the hello, hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring to you the, yeah, it's a little bit better, not as much as I would have loved it to. Well, let me use Titi to pump you up. Titi's energy is always contagious. Ladies and gentlemen, the only energetic Titi, a tech founder, the Niger Kids expert and founder. She loves biscuits. If you don't know, she loves biscuits a lot. She loves cakes. In fact, red velvet to be precise. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting more time, bringing you Titi.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. Good morning. Good morning. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education. Good morning. It's good to have everyone. Honestly, I was wondering why Jude was using his bedroom voice. So it's good to know that it's that his volume is low.
I have my devices checked. So.
Just the volume is still a bit low and still bedroom-like. So,
Jude is September is a month of romance for Jude, so he has to feel romantic, romantic, fantastic, bombastic. Oh my God. Uh, but Titi, you know that your greeting sometimes might just be like a therapy for some people. You don't know who you're lifting out of depression. That hello is magical. I don't know how you do it. Even if it's fake, it's an original fake. Even because I just do that. Hello. You don't have a
Good
choice. Just drop your
morning. Good
phone,
morning. Honestly,
yes, drop
I
your
think
concern.
they say that's my superpower. I'm very cheerful, on the phone, and when they speak to me, I'm usually
Yeah.
very happy.
And
Yes.
sometimes, sometimes when we have conversation, I forget what I want to say. Because once you just say hello, the laughter will just erase 2 minutes of my conversation.
I'm
And I'm
telling
like,
you,
what
good
were you
morning,
saying?
everyone. If you is saying that I should show, that's how to do it. Titi, please show Jude the way. Jude, please come for some lessons on how to, gingered up early in the morning.
Now we're going to do
Hello,
something now. We're going
yeah.
to add Titi's hello. We're going to add Titi's energy. And then we're going to bring a brightness effect to it. So the next person I'm going to introduce, just looking at her, she's special. Looking at the lighting in her background, she's special. Looking at her
As
hairstyle,
in, her
and she
lighting
has a
doesn't have part
magical
two.
smile. She has this baby look, like oh, this poshy baby kind of thing. So, but then she's loaded. She's loaded. Just sometimes you just thank God that God blesses people with knowledge and beauty, because sometimes you don't have the complete package at the same time. You have some people beautiful, and then there are empty brains.
Oh
We
my
have some people with brains,
God.
and they are like the 4D image Jude was doing some days ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, bringing you Lola and Eki. Can you see what I'm talking about? Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
wow,
This is the kind of look that causes
Good
lockdown.
morning, Titi. Good morning, Mr. Jude. Mr. Rotimi, let me go raz on you. Are you whining me or what?
Ah, no, no, no. Thou shalt not whine. Thou shalt not whine. It's the truth now. In fact, this is the bell of blessing to confirm it.
Good morning, Titi. Thanks for that energy. We all needed it this morning. Thank
Good
you.
morning. Good morning.
So fantastic. We already have people on the show. I think we're having some for the first time. Anurika Jane Uduma, welcome to the show. Bell of blessing to you. And of course, Adeboye Malik. I think that's also the first time
Yeah,
I'm
that's
having
the first
Adeboye.
time, huh?
That's the bell of blessing to Adeboye. And we have, of course, our ambassador from the UAE, the only one and only Ifiok Ikagu. There's no other Ifiok that is the ambassador from UAE. So, Ifiok, thank you. And of course, Carol just sometimes appears like an angel. She comes in and she disappears. She comes in and she disappears. And I'm saying it that Carol is coming to the show tomorrow. Whatever is going to happen is coming on the show. So, Carol, if you can hear me all the way from Abuja, you're coming on the show tomorrow. So, do I have a yes?
Oh, good morning, Carol. Good morning. She says she hasn't been online for a few days, so she's. I
So,
mean,
tomorrow will be
Carol has
that.
been busy. Honestly, I've been seeing her on Instagram. She's
She's
been
been
busy.
making cheddar.
Um,
She's been making so many
with
alerts.
so many
Me,
training
I,
and
me, I
preparations
know how
for
to get
schools.
Carol. Carol, I'm coming to get you. You can run, but you can't hide. And if you run, like we say on the show, he who fights and run will live to fight
Is to
another
find
day.
another
Amen.
day.
And of course, I think someone I missed. Oh yes, Oluwakemi Adesanya. You need to meet her. Titi, she's a very beautiful lady. She has a voice that is so captivating. You need to meet her. She's a very great educator as well. So, Kemi, thank you for joining the Bell of Blessings, Kemi. And who have I missed? I can't get makeup. This Carol, there's a way. Don't worry, Titi will teach you the style. There's a way you get around it. So, ask for mentorship from Titi. Titi is a very good coach when it comes to that. So already we're having. So if you want Carol to be on the show, just like Ifyok is saying, yeah, Carol is coming. Please let Carol have no choice. Everybody say we want Carol. We want Carol. Type it on
We
the
We
chat.
want Carol.
want
We
Carol.
want
We
Please.
want
Carol.
to have
We
Carol.
want
Go, Carol. Go, Carol. Go,
And
Carol.
Look ahead. So, and the prophet has sealed it. So, Carol, you can run, you can't hide. We're seeing you tomorrow, and we're talking about Fit for Progress tomorrow. So, today we're going straight into the conversation of the matter today, and we're not going to waste much time, right? We started a series like I introduced when we started the show, and the idea is we don't want to just jump in and say, guess what? It's the 21st, and resumption is here or reopening is here. Is it possible that we have conversations that just kind of, touch around several concerns and dimensions that schools will require, and educators will require to talk about, to learn? And we would definitely bring that on board today. So we're talking about fit for support. The school system is a system that evolves around support. And I'm sure Titi believes in that. In fact, Titi, I wanted to surprise you today, but I'll tell you about, remind me later. I wanted to
Okay.
surprise you, but remind me, don't forget. All right. So the
Um,
school system is actually a system that evolves around support. In fact, I believe that the growth that we will witness in the sector cannot be outside the support prevailing or prevalent in the sector. So that's why I would like us to start that conversation today. And I really like the fact that we're having a mixture. Lola is here. Lola will be talking as someone who provides support to schools, and also as someone who receives support from people, right? And then of course from the inclusion angle as well. And Titi, of course, you totally, you're a support maniac, in a positive way. You're cooking up a storm already, and that storm is also in the place of really. And you're good at that. And of course, Jude is support personified. I'm sure a lot of educators would accrue or attest to the fact that their tech appreciation or migration to tech, Jude is part of the success story to that. So we're going to be talking about that. And Okemute Rosemary saying, good morning, panelists. Okemute, it's a bell of blessing. Receive a blessing to you today. All right. So Titi, do you want to start so that we'll move from Titi, then we'll go to Lola, and then we'll come to Jude.
yeah.
Titi, over to you.
I think I will start with what I would call the most obvious one, and that is support from parents. Uh, what makes a successful learning process also is really the support from parents. And I think with COVID-19 and the lockdown, one of the things that is revealed is that schools should be comfortable with being vulnerable. Sometimes, you can be like a school and do like you have all your acts together, and then people just see that you don't need any support. But once you can be vulnerable, once you can, come out, have that conversation together with the parents, to be vulnerable and then to really require their support, then, you would get that support. Will 100% be behind you? No, I don't think in anything in life you should expect 100% support. But I think, when you can lay your cards on the table, when you're not trying to, hide anything, they can support. So let me give an example. A lot of what has happened with these school resumptions is, a lot of schools just sending parents emails and say, this is how it's going to be. And then what they experience is a lot of parents just pushing back. Unlike other schools that have done that more of collaborative, more of consultative method, where you come consult with them, you say, this is the issue, these are the guidelines, these are what we are thinking, we need your support to make it happen. How can we support you? And I've said this so many times on this show. When we look at the cost of opening physical school, it's going to be a cost that the school most likely cannot bear. And the school cannot directly pass it on to the parents through the fees. If you try to do that, there'll be a kickback. So one of my son's school right now, there's a major kickback in the fees that has been sent to parents. But if you come and say, we need your support. This is how we need it. We need, can you, put like an amount in terms of for the face mask, for the disinfectants, for the hand wash, can you do that? Or how do we do it? So some parents will say, we're ready to pay 2,000-3,000 naira, 5,000 naira for this support. Or some will say, one parent can come up and say, I can give a carton of the hand wash. Another can say, I can give a carton of the disinfectant. All that is support. Some people can say, you know what, I have a fashion business. I can help, sew the face mask at this discounted price as my contribution to the school, as my way to support the school. It can be that, and it's beyond COVID. We should always look and say, how can we use the parents for support? A lot of times it comes with you discussing with them, sharing ideas, being kind of vulnerable, and not seem as if the school has it all together. I feel you will get a lot of support from parents. Let me give a last example before I go on. Like I mentioned, during the COVID, during the lockdown, some schools were not paying their teachers. Some had to let them go. And I felt, as a parent, especially for a school that I was getting, value from them. When I listened to other schools and some of their challenges, I went and met with the school principal, and said, what can we do? Those of us that have been with this school for long, I'm open to contributing money to help, soften the teachers that you might not be able to pay, so that it's not a terrible period, because it's been how many months. And that's the kind of support you can get. If the parents are happy, some, not all, you don't make it compulsory. You can say, we want to do this, so parents are ready to support. Some PTAs are really very strong in terms of supporting, in terms of giving back. And I think it's something that the school should, leverage on during this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is one of your best intros ever. Ever. I'm telling you. You see, it came with energy, it came with clarity, it came with precision, it came with depth, it came with, see Titi blushing. Come on, give it to us, give it to us. All right. I like looking for trouble. All right. Lola, I'm going to bring Lola up to also talk about it. And Lola, you are going to address it for me. You know how you do your own. Lola is no holds barred. She doesn't do cosmetic to her own opinion, right? So no makeup on your conversations today. Just do it as Team Natural. You understand?
Wow, Titi, that was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. So talking about support, I'd always looked at some of what we talk about as something new, and for me, I feel those are some of the rudiments, some of the foundational requirements to be school owners or service providers in any way. Now, this issue of support, I think it has to do with, first and foremost, collaboration. Like you can't run a successful school without having support. First and foremost, like Titi said, the parents. I'm big on parents collaborating with the school, because that's what's bringing out the best in the child. Now I'm going to look at it from the aspect of a service provider when it has to do with special education, because when you talk about support, different service providers come together to help or to provide support for the school. And I'll look at it in two angles. One is the first thing is, why are you providing this support? Yes, why are we providing this support? That will be for the child or the learner. Okay. Now, most times when we talk about support, a lot of people, and I'm trying to be very modest, but from my experience, a lot of people do it right, and a lot of people do not have the major reason why they're providing that support is more like for competitive reasons. Oh, somebody else is doing it, I need to do it. So I'll bring it back to to services that we provide in the field of special and inclusive education, a kind of support. We call such service providers related service providers. So if, for example, school is about to resume, and we definitely know that we have some children with reading challenges already. We already, that gap will be wider right now, because a lot of things that happen, kids have not been able to, and that's one thing about reading challenges. If you don't practice, if you don't get the right support, the gap gets bigger. So first and foremost, as we're about to resume or thinking of resuming, the first question is, why are we providing the support? Why? For who? The child, yes? And we want to give the child, I saw the school, and it said we prepare children to be global competitors. So one of the reasons why I want these children to be global, thank God for COVID, thank God for what is going on, thank God for technology. If you want a child to be a global competitor, and for example, you have a child who has a reading challenge, for example, you have to be sure that that person that provided support for you is fully equipped and well knowledgeable to be able to provide that kind of support for the child. Okay, so that's the aspect of maybe a reading specialist who's providing support for the school. Now let's also bring it back to the school that's engaging that reading specialist. Sometimes some schools have professional reading specialists to help the child. Some schools have to bring in external service providers. But one thing I realized is most times when someone that is fully certified to work with that, a reading specialist who is certified or who is well equipped to work with that, not someone that just studied English or an English graduate, which some of the challenges we're having in this part of the world. When a person walks into the school and says, look, I can provide so and so support, you hear things like, oh, you're too expensive. I understand that there's COVID, I understand that we have to look at the financial aspect and all of that. But I believe that when you're collaborating, we have to look at certain factors like, how can we be flexible? How can we be creative? How can we do things just all for the benefit of the child? And then on the side of the school that's revealing the service that is engaging the service on behalf of the child, they're like, oh, you're expensive. We'll get another person. When you find out that they get other person who's coming to provide that service for that child, the person might not be solid enough. Let me use that word to be able to move that child to that level where you want him to be a global service provider. So when we are looking at this issue, we need to look at it holistically. What do I want, and why do I want it, and how can I be flexible to be able to get value at the same time and not having to pray to my nose. So that's my own take when it comes to that. What do we want? How can we achieve it? And how can we be flexible? And for the service providers who are providing the support, are you fit enough? Are you well equipped? Are you a professional to be able to provide that support for that child?
Fantastic, fantastic. Lola, you don't let me say anything. Lola, you have a way of breaking points and reiterating points as well. And I think that's what really makes someone a good facilitator or a learning instructor, because it's very important that I took some key things from what you said. We need to understand that support cannot be without questioning the why. And then you also mentioned that there's a big concern that people need to recognize that don't do things for doing sake or for copycat syndrome. I really get that, because a lot of times, because people don't know the why, along the line, that's when they discover, oh, so this thing might be this demanding, and then you start seeing people not going the full length. Unfortunately, the client who assess the industry or the recipient of the service will consider people as not being faithful or not putting integrity of input to work. And something I've realized, there's some things that a client requires, or even sometimes there's some field of work that if you don't give it all, there's nothing. If you do it 80%, it's the 20% will still make it look like you did not do anything. And that's a real counsel that people need to really follow and keep to. And I like that. Thank you so much. So let's ask Jude, Prophet Jude.
Yep.
Now, when we're talking about fit for support, I know you've helped people back end. You are a behind the scene kind of person, which is something you've been so good at that you hardly even want to show your face to the world now. I don't know, maybe one day Titi will walk by and not know you're Jude Ashedu, because you are so behind the scene that it's like you're competing with the Holy Ghost. So, so what I want to ask is a little bit of your perspective, especially knowing that we might need to lean heavily on technology for us to really provide support in this new era, especially reopening of schools. We've stressed a lot of learning online, teaching online, but to a consultant, to a vendor, to those who provide support to the education space, right? What's your take on that? Because I know that there is a need for us. These are pointing accusing fingers. Schools don't do this. I think it's an everybody kind of thing. What's your take on that, please?
Now let me get that again. In terms of, I should talk more on tech support, right? Hello, is that
Yes, yes.
okay? Okay. Basically, I think it all started with school, not when it comes to tech, right? Let me make it clear. When it comes to tech support for schools, there are two types of schools. The schools that really don't value it at the beginning, and they would always tell you they don't have what they call it. They don't have funds for it, right? So that's the first school, and the school that will be they will even borrow money to get tech support. So those are the two types of schools, and I believe it's cut across every other support system in the school. When a school is not really interested, they will tell you they don't have funds. They don't. They will just give an excuse that make you the support staff not even get interested in helping them again. Then you have schools that will even you would like to help those schools even if they don't have funds. I've worked with some schools, they don't have funds and they really want it. You would like to help them because of their enthusiasm, because of what they are trying to achieve, and you just okay, let me work with these people just because of they are very interested in what you want to help them with. So when it comes to tech, there's never going to be funds for school. That's the truth. There's never going to be a time where school have enough funds. It just depends on what they are trying to achieve. And I believe for at this point in time, it's it's no it's no brainer that a school will need to rely on tech, because now parents are subscribing to blended environment or hybrid environment. So you don't even have any choice. So at this point, you can't even say it's it's not a direct service. You need to employ the services of a consultant in terms of educational technology. And what I found out is some schools will want to go cheap, right? And what they don't know is when you go cheap, you will spend twice the amount in trying to actually achieve that service. I've seen schools that they want to go cheap. Then what happens is they will consult with somebody that can only do 5% of the whole achievement, right? Then it's true now. I work with these people, I know their psychology. Then they will now get into trouble for
They now
somebody
call
to
the
come
real
with
person.
95% and that and you'd have spent more than you understand. You'd have spent times five of the amount you are trying to conserve.
Mm.
And at the time, they will now start calling this person. They will now start spoiling the other person's brand, which I believe is what you expect because you didn't complete. Like you said, that 20% you didn't complete will just spoil the entire 80% you completed. So at this point,
Yeah.
you find that being into tech, there's the approach. There's what we call the system analyst that can actually analyze an entire system and provide solution on each department. Then you have some people that are just good in providing solution for just one department. So you should know who you are consulting and how you are consulting. And if you don't even understand the basis of your goal as in school, that's the essence of seeking profile big seeking consultants who can actually help you, even if the person is not tech. But like you are seeking Mr. Rotimi and asking him who is this person that can help me in the entire overhaul. You understand? So this is where wisdom comes into play.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I like what you said, and I would like to ask Titi that if a follow up to what Jude was trying to allude to. Titi, could it be that it's a miseducation of the clients themselves? You know, sometimes I've heard people say, of course, if people know better, they'll do better. Could it be that they've been victim of trend or they've been victim of brand visibility? Because sometimes uh, how do you get to know whether you're picking the right kind of support or whether the kind of support you're approaching has the entire framework to do the 9 yards, as it were? Because we also actually need to look at we don't really have a culture of us being thorough, right? And sometimes a lot of people are just so focused on winning the contract or gaining the job And by the time the award or the acceptance or the approval comes, it's like they just go to relax, and then there are lapses.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of everything. When it comes to support, I mean, it's in everything in life. When it comes to support, there's cost, there's value, there's experience. All those things, you don't buy them in the market. So a school sometimes, or even a person sometimes knows what they want, but they don't want to pay for that value. It's the same thing with anything. So why is that person charging that much? But that person is charging for the value that they're bringing. And so when you then want to, cut costs, and then you then go for something that, of less value. And when you then get it, you're unhappy. So I think it's important in everything we do. You look at what do you want? Who are the people that are known for it? At the top end, who are the people that are known for it at mid end, and who are the people that are known for it? And what will you be getting? To then look at it. And then when you then consider and say, look, what's the value of getting it wrong? It's like building a house. It's like building a house and you go and get the wrong plumber, to help you. You have to live with that mistake for so long. And because, once the house is built, that is a major thing to try and rectify it. It's like someone, did your tiles and you can easily rectify without damaging a lot of things. But when you get plumbing and electrical wrong, that is major in the house. So those are the kind of things that when you look at it and someone is giving you a cost, I know that, you shouldn't just consider doing shortcuts in terms of cost. The other thing I found out in making decision is that seek guidance, especially from those that have gone ahead. So it's like when you go and buy something only to find out that honestly it was the wrong decision to make. Go and look for those that you think have implemented it successfully and seek guidance. And I think that's where the power of associations need to be. If you're a member of an association, I know those are some of the things that associations should be talking about in terms of support, sharing experiences so that other schools don't have to go through that experience. So share experience and say, you know what, we implemented Google Classroom and we implemented this. This was the value that we saw based on our needs. We need to do a lot more. As I've said before, collaboration should not be something that we feel is a competitive disadvantage. We should do a lot of collaboration. During the COVID, I said it so many times that schools should come out and say openly what worked, what didn't work, so that other people can learn. And it doesn't have to be like a public forum, but a forum of other school owners. Let's learn together and say, this is what has worked. So even those that have gone ahead and implemented technology in their schools, let them come and share with other people and say, when we first started, we went and got this. And later realized that we didn't really need this. We're not really able to use this. So this is what we can say based on our needs, our experience. Let's share. I really think that's so important. Let school owners in your association, even just giving back to community. Community means the school community, the educational ecospace. Come and share what works, what was successful in your school, the mistakes that you made to prevent other schools from making that mistake. I meet school owners that tell me, they want to buy devices. They want to buy the low-end devices. And I tell them, you know what? The low-end devices, they are fine if it's for personal use. But when it's in a school where it's going to be handled from hand to hand, you need something that is rugged. You need something that when it drops on the floor, it will drop on the floor, you will not be screaming because, that's your cheap money down the drain. Just keep completely gone. So we need to consult. That's what I would say. We need to share. And we need to realize that there's always a balance between cost and value. Cost and value.
Titi, I'm just trying to capture all the things you said. Today, man, I'm really feeling it's like there's this anointing in the building, We need to consult, we need to share. And then he said we must be able to balance, how did you put it, cost
Cost and
balance
value.
or differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a balance. I'm just trying to make sure people get it. A balance between cost and value. I normally tell people that the truth about it is this: quality will always cost. That's the truth about it. Quality would always cost. And people must recognize that sometimes a lot of people pick a fight I remember there's a particular school owner that gave me a call, and after we've been on this thing for about almost 2 years, I need your service. I need you to do this, do this, do this. Okay, no problem. And then you give what it cost, and then she'll come back again and say it again. So she felt maybe because she's mentioned it for over a year that time has passed, so the cost you pass. So she came back again. I said, but you know that this is COVID now, right? Everything should even be much cheaper than before. I said, you know that this is COVID. It is actually more expensive now. I picked up the phone, and I'm like, why are you afraid? So I spoke to her. I said, you know what? Do you charge for your fees? She said yes. I said, have you increased your fees in the last since we started having this conversation? She said yes. I said, so why are you so angry and against? You're not even making a bargain. And I said, okay, no problem. I said, what's the least? What's the least you've paid your staff? As in the lowest earning staff. Let's say your cleaner or something. She mentioned the amount. I said, multiply the amount by 12. As for a year, she did that. I said, you're asking to pay me, right? When you said she doesn't have money, she wants to pay me. She wants to pay me lesser than what she will pay a cleaner for a year. I don't know where I get my point. So imagine, let's say, for example, you pay a cleaner, let's say 40,000 naira. And then you times 40,000 times 12. You have about 40,000 times 12. That's about
480.
480,000. In fact, this is me being nice on this show. So let me be nice. I'm painting a nice picture. And she wants a service retainership for a year that of something that has to do with revamping our school process from strategy to growth. And I'm like, a whole year. Even the least paid person in your school is any more than me. I said, why don't you employ me? Let me just give you my CV. And if you see the demand, I want you to be there fiscally. I said, excuse me, I will sponsor that amount to your school. I don't mind that. And it's not pride, but sometimes people need to reflect. If at all I took that, she should be concerned, because she's not going to get quality that she deserves. You understand? And that means there's something wrong if I'm doing that. I'm not saying that
of somebody with value. It's either full value or no value. There's no
exactly.
between. It's not chinko. It's not chinko.
If it's not Panadol, it's nothing like what Panadol. And I'm sure Lola has a lot of these examples that I've at least witnessed some. Lola, please share. Let's even open the can of worms today. Lola, let's hear your experience too.
It's so sad, really. As you were speaking, I was just trying to see what I compare education or what we do in this field with. And I said to myself, would I wake up every morning and not say my prayer? Would I wake up every morning? The way I take my Christian work, as serious as I take, is the way I take what I do in this field, as it is. So, for example, like Mr. Rotimi was saying, I've had people come to me and say to me, oh, we need this and so service. I'm like, okay, this is what it will cost you ideally, but I know what it is. We can't go that far. This is a baseline we can go. And then they go to you and say, you're too expensive. This other person can charge you this particular amount. And like Titi was saying, quality value comes with a cost. And I'm looking at this person without belittling the person, like, okay, let me look at this person's qualifications and experiences. And I'm like, you can't compare. But it's okay. It's a matter of choice, because two cannot work together except they agree. So I always try to find a middle line, a middle point, so that we can be on the same page. Because even if you agree and you are not you're not satisfied with the offer, then you will give the best of yourself. So that's what I see this as. Now, I'll give another example. My daughter just started, school just, some of the schools are opening bit by bit. And our school, they come in twice a week, and then they had said to us a list of things to bring to school. And then for some reason, I forgot a particular notebook that day. And then I got a message, and they said to me, oh, she didn't bring this book today, and we're giving her a replacement for this amount. When I heard how much you were asking, I'm like, okay, look, I believe in parental support, but you're asking for too much for this ordinary notebook. But I said to myself, Lola, they will not say to you to bring this particular amount if the book is not worth the amount. So I kept quiet. And then when I got to school, I looked at it like, oh, wow, this is a beautiful book, much more better than the one I was going to give to you. And I was happy to pay for that value of the book. I just said to myself, I even need this kind of book for my own use too, you know. But coming back to what collaboration is and what it should be, like support. Support for me, you can use interchangeably as collaboration, support. You cannot really separate them. Now, two things we should be careful of. Collaboration is not competition. No, it's not. And I'll bring it this way. Just like when this person, the parent said to me, oh, that other person will take a lower amount to what you're charging. And then you're thinking, well, I'm sorry. I mean, depending on, I always like to maintain the higher moral ground. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry. That's what I would do, and this is what I can do. And then we have to be careful when we collaborate, because collaboration involves a lot of people. We have to be as professional as possible, not to talk down anybody. Because when you begin to do that, it becomes a competition. Like even with parents, you want to say that school will do it better than your school, and then you go to that other school to talk about the other school. We as parents, we have to be very careful so we don't bring in that competition, an unhealthy competition, where you think, what are we really doing as professionals? Then secondly, our communication. I call it effective and essential communication. How do we communicate whatever it is we're going to drive out without necessarily pulling down anybody? So we have to be very careful not to make collaboration or support unhealthy competitive, and the communication should be in such a way that it is beneficial to all. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. I think we just use this opportunity to quickly take some comments. I'm seeing some fantastic comments.
Yeah, we have Ronke Posh in the house. Ronke. Honestly, it's like if your was a prophet, because I should just say, oh, she misses Rhoda and she misses Ronke Posh. The next thing I saw comments from Ronke. Ronke, we're so happy to have you there. We do miss you. I love Ronke's comment. I think it was regards parents supporting. And she says, as a beneficiary of support during this COVID, I will say that parents will support the school if you're giving them reasons over and beyond the money they pay for the fees. I completely agree. She said she received a check of 236,000 on Sunday. We had so much support from parents. I'm telling you, maybe we should come and visit.
That's the bell of blessing.
She said we had so much support from parents. Why? Yeah, it's the value, it's the love, it's the empathy, it's the professionalism that we provided over the years. Seeds that have been sown, that we're now reaping. It was very emotional for her. However, I know that there's a method to the madness. I personally cannot solicit for funds, and it makes sense, So sometimes, because you build that community and family in school, it's the parents that can come up and say, you know what, we will take this on. It's not the school. So thank you very much. Ronke Posh said, thank you, Ifyo, today. She made it. She sees this beautiful comment. God bless you so much. She misses everyone, but good morning, Ronke Posh. Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining. Okay. Jude, the Lagbaja of the education sector. I like that new title. Jude, I think I'm going to be calling you that. That's from Ifyo. Nana is saying, I'm telling you, the Lagbaja of Nana is saying, Madam Lola Neke had made some very important points to ponder on in the area of special needs education and support system. How big support is sometimes worse than no support at all. So let's be careful with the support. How big support is worse than no support at all? So that's
a tweetable comment.
Ishak is saying that people will be encouraged to invest and support what they believe in and what has added value to them in some ways. Yes, so much so. And that's the same thing that Ronke was saying. What has added value? Once you've added value, it's so much easier. It's so much easier, easier to support. And once you build community and families, it's so important to build community and family. Black Box Entertainment, Baza, saying great job, guys. Yes, Baza was with us yesterday. This is just my comment saying, what's the value of getting it wrong? this is a question to ponder on. A lot of people that go and get consultants and support, and for people that are not experienced, only to come back and pay for the ones that they are, earlier. So seek guidance from the right source. That's what I said. A very valid point from Ronke Posh. She said those that have gone ahead are not always right. COVID-19 showed off many that have gone ahead. We must respect intellect and reasoning of others. Those that know. Yes, not everybody has gotten it right, which is why I said for me, a lot of it's experience sharing. Let them share the experience. Any advice, anything people give you, you don't have to always take it, and look at your own circumstance, look at what's happening, take that advice. Remove the error in that comment because I don't know what was saying. So you just need to take that. But like I always say, even in taking advice, take people that you've respected, people that you know that are open and honest. They won't really cover up and just honor you the good part. You'll say it as it is. Yes, Ronke saying today that I've made it, I see this beautiful. Thank you so much. It's Ifyok, okay. The last comment is saying support is not complete without collaboration. That's also true. Support and collaboration. Collaboration over competition. Yes. Florence Okoji said, Lola, thank you for encouraging collaboration over competition. All the way from what means making it seem as if satellite is not in this area. Florence all the way from satellite.
Oh, now, Titi, why you do like this?
Okay, awesome morning, amazing educators from Florence. Koji, thank you, Florence. Thank you for joining us. There was a beautiful comment. Okay, Ronka. I must be the you. I like that fast running emoji. Ronke, you have it's very special anointing. Anywhere you go. We need to consult share as well. Yes. Nigerians will not share. They are highly competitive.
So find the right people. That's not true.
we are highly. I'm telling you, we are. But that's not to say that there are not people that.
Find the right people. Yes.
She's actually on this as well, I think.
Yeah. I want to give kudos to Itoro Baby Loud. I've been in a number of places where she has spoken, where she's very old, she's telling things that work, give the encouragement, the secrets that will help other people. So that's fantastic. So it's not she's very much into the not complicated. So it's very nice. Yes, we want value between cost and value. There are things that are, the additional cost for them is like it's paparazzi, it's brand name as against, the real value. And now, Nana said, Titi has said it all. People don't like to pay for value in the educational sector in Nigeria. I think the reason because people do not set their parents right. I've seen that spend thousands of dollars on clothing, but then if you have quality themselves of their children, when Rosemary was saying, people they know on the price. Quality cost, there's some cost that after that it just, minimum.
See, your line is breaking.
Okay, is it I the only person talking?
Titi, you are frozen.
You're
As
breaking.
in safety chicks words, you are frozen. It feels like
Internet.
saying someone is frozen fish. Something like oh my goodness. So I think Jude, you need to speak to internet. Oh,
Oh,
Lola, are you there?
I'm here.
I've changed
can
my
Lola,
internet to yeah, I'm back.
okay,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
back.
Back
back.
and better.
back and better.
Yes, thank you.
I
Um,
would have said you're mute, you're mute. Ah, it would have been better. I said that you're mute.
But you know, that's
oh
so
my
cool. Like
goodness.
Titi, thank you for always
Yeah.
being the unmute prefect, because this morning I started speaking and I remember Titi will remind me, so I kept on checking to be sure I was not muted.
Thank you, Jared. Our value.
That thing used to get into my brain. I was like, as if someone is beating me. You're mute.
um, um, Ronke's comment, I don't finish with me, where said quality will always cost. Yes, how much does empathy, good customer service, love, respect,
Absolutely.
professionalism cost? Most things in life
Absolutely.
are free, but not completely so. I would say even professionalism has a cost. Um, Customer service has a cost, because the more I need to provide customer service, I most likely need to be doing more, and that has a cost, really. Now I say, Mr. Rotimi, the cost has passed. Can you imagine? And this person said that to a fashion designer. It is sad, and that's what Nana was saying, that we need to just set our priorities right. The devil is in the details. It really depends on the time devoted to the retainership. Yes, the devil is always in the details. In terms of costs, how much time does it take? Required. I agree, Nana. Sometimes it's even better to just do it free. How insulting! There's some things that you just say, you know what, I'll do it free, because once it's free, you know that then it's flexible. You can't make so much of a demand. When you say, oh, can you come on, like, that this is a free service, so I can only do it online. I can't come spend money for fuel to come to your place, knowing that I'm offering a free service. So we'll do it over the phone. I give my advice over the phone. So, free service, people should understand. Um, Okay, Paul, she's playing the devil's advocate. She's saying we have a retainer with a fantastic hospital in Ikoyi. They earn less than our cleaner, but for years we actually need them because you don't get that serious accident. And then when you look at that, also remember that there's an economies of scale. So a hospital that provides retainership service, you know that they already have the economies of scale working for them, so they can continue to drop on their fees. So let's always consider all those factors when it comes to cost. The cake made by someone that is a small business versus a cake made by someone that is the likes of Spam. Of course, the cost will be less, because there's something about mass production. So it's the same
True.
thing with retainership. Someone is coaching you with 1,000 people, as against someone is coaching you on one-on-one. So when we look at value, let's also remember that in terms of all the things, all the factors that add to the value. Okay, we don't really have much time, so we'll take a few more comments. Yeah, so that's Ronke. Yes, they will always have numerous customers, so it will add. The subscription model is what many don't yet understand. Money is not always in the lump sum. Yes.
Another thing I need to say is sometimes we need to understand business decisions, make or buy decisions are tied to your model, and then the kind of service offering that you have. A lot of times we need to be able to look at it from that angle. In most cases, business decision from management level is taken not based on just price differentiation. In fact, when it comes to differentiation, there's price differentiation, there's people differentiation, there's perceptive percentage. There are about 9 differentiations on price modeling. So it determines your decision.
Yeah. Let's take a last comment from Ifyok, and then we'll just go to we'll then close. Ifyok's last comment. She says, yes, Nana, it's the very last one, Rotimi.
Oh, the last one, sorry.
Yes, Ifyok's last, and that will be our last comment. We have like 3 minutes left. Ifyok is saying, Yes, and when I was home, apparently she used to pay 10K for reading lessons for her child. But right in front of me, she bought stuff. What's with 20?
Oh, mom must chop that.
I cannot forget that experience.
Priorities.
I can feel ambitious pain all the way here.
I, I I am looking forward to meet
Man
Ifyaki
was
in
whack.
person. I believe that
Um,
she's just so much with energy and fun. I can
right,
imagine the look on her face when she got to hear that. Well, it's different
brought to
growth
me
for
back to you as we wrap up
yeah.
today.
Even Nana is laughing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Lola, maybe you do us the honors. What's your counsel as we head towards reopening and resumption of schools, online, offline? What's your counsel to people with regards to the conversation, getting fit for support? What are your counsels as we bring this to a close?
I think it's just, thank you, Mr. Rotimi. I think it's just a summary of what I've said. What do you want to do with what you have? Online, physical, why are you doing what you want to do? And then, um, what ways do you want to ensure that you get quality for what you do or we plan to do as we resume?
Fantastic. So, guys, you've heard from Lola. She's asking us to question our why, to ensure that we're on purpose with what we do, and also to ensure that we factor in all the things required. So, Jude, last words, please.
I
Jude,
will advise schools to actually do their due diligence and consult properly before they employ services, because at this point in time we know that schools cannot pay much, right? So make sure you get good value for your money and get a good support system that will actually last a bit
Mm,
while.
yeah.
thank you so much. Due diligence. Um,
So that's my
is
take on it.
yes, do the same due diligence. Ensure that before you leap, they normally say look before you leap, before you jump. Uh, also look before you jump. And of course, if you fight and you are not going to win, you must run so that the other day when you come back, you fight and win. All right. So we end with, we end with Titi.
I think Jude has said it for me. We all need support. Try and get the right support. You don't always have to pay through your nose for it, but try and get the right support. And get the support that is for you, really. Don't try and get a limousine when what you basically could do with is that's what some it's like buying a phone when all you do is send SMS and text message. So when you're trying to balance costs, you can also look at maybe all the things that you need, you put it in phases so it becomes more manageable. But mine is get support and get the right support.
Thank you so much. And to bring this to a close, I would like to just say thank you all for joining. Thank you for the contributions and comments. Fantastic comment from all our viewers and audience, and also for the special anointing that came on today. We want to thank the internet and we want to thank God for that blessing. We want to thank Runke Posh for joining as well and making it quite engaging and hilarious. Thank you, Ifyok, for always putting the energy and twist. Thank you, Nana. You didn't give us too many research questions today, but you contributed as well. Thank you so much,
I think I know why.
everyone. And it's been a great time. Lola, thank you for allowing us to take a time in your mornings all the way from FCT Abuja. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Titi. Please do ensure that you like our page, our Instagram pages, our Facebook pages, Twitter pages. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also like and share the videos. Follow our guests and analysts online. They're having fantastic stuff. Yes, I don't want to forget. TT is brewing something. Niger Kids and the safety chick. They are brewing something, guys. There's a countdown. You can't miss this. So you guys stay tuned. And how do you say it now? Keep the dialogue. What do you say? Just stay tuned.
Don't touch
Watch this.
that down.
Don't
Don't
change
touch
that
that
down.
down.
Don't touch
Don't
that
Super
down.
touch
excited.
that down.
They're doing fantastic stuff. And please, I'm sure once it's time, be a part of it. So thank you very much. Everyone should ensure that we support one another, but in the spirit of support, we must be fit for support, meaning that the right thing must be done and must do the right thing the right way at the right time. And I believe that will help us. Tomorrow, we're going to end the week on the series. We're talking about fit for progress. So we're going a little bit away from us and we're taking the sector and the industry. And we're talking about what kind of progress you will encounter, what kind of prosperity lies behind the progress,
Yeah.
and what kind of possibilities should we be embracing. We will be here tomorrow, 8 a.m. This is the Good Morning Education Show. And we have a saying as we go, it's always a great morning
Good morning.
on the Good
The Good
Education
Morning
Show.
Show.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.